Hey there, and welcome back to Writer Room Wednesday. This is my weekly series where I take you inside my writing process as a screenwriter and horror author, breaking down how I develop stories, revise scripts, and strengthen them from the inside out. Over the past few weeks, I've been walking through my rewrite process, which I approach in layers instead of trying to fix everything all at once. First, I talked about why I always let a script rest before revisions. Then I broke down my overall rewrite framework. And last week, I focused on layer 1, fixing the structure, making sure the foundations of the story actually hold. Today, I'm moving into layer 2, character, because once structure is solid, character is what makes the story work emotionally. I want to be very clear about this. I never start with character. Not because character isn't important, it is, but because character arcs live inside structure. If the story's spine isn't stable, you can't accurately diagnose character problems. So once structure is solid, character issues become obvious. You can suddenly see who's driving the story, who's reacting instead of acting, where motivation drops out, and where arcs flatten or disappear. Character work done too early often turns in cosmetic fixes, better dialogue, quick quirks, sharper banter, without really addressing the issues. That's why character comes second. A character rewrite pass is not about making characters more interesting. It's about making them necessary. When I do a character pass, I'm asking very specific questions. What does this character want? Not vaguely, but concretely. What are they afraid of losing? What decisions are they avoiding? What choice are they forced to make because of the story? And most importantly, are they making decisions that actively move the story forward? If a character is just reacting to events, they're not driving the narrative. They're being dragged through it. Now, I also track character arcs very deliberately. At the beginning of the story, who is this person emotionally? What are they missing? What belief or flaw is holding them back? By the midpoint, something should shift. Their understanding, their confidence, their fear, or their commitment. By the end, they should not be the same person who started the story. That change doesn't have to be positive, especially in horror. But it does have to be intentional. If I can't articulate how a character changes, then the arc isn't finished yet. Character work is especially critical in horror. Horror only works if the audience understands what's at stake emotionally, not just physically. Now, I always ask myself, why does this horror matter to this character? If the threat could happen to anyone, it won't feel personal. If it attacks something specific, guilt, fear, grief, denial, pride, that's when horror becomes effective. Fear isn't just about what's happening on the screen. It's about what it costs the character emotionally. Now, when I mentor newer writers, character issues are some of the most common problems I see in rewrites. Protagonists who react instead of initiate, characters whose goals disappear halfway through the script, side characters who don't serve a clear function, arcs that don't resolve, and characters who feel interchangeable. One test I use is simple. If I remove this character, does the story break? If the answer is no, the character needs more work or simply needs to go. During this layer, I still don't polish dialogue. I don't worry about clever lines. I don't fine-tune scenes. Because once character motivations and arcs are clear, scenes often fix themselves. And that's why layer 3 is scenes, not dialogue. As I continue rewrites on They Feed, this layer is all about tightening motivation and clarifying emotional stakes. Once characters are making stronger, more intentional choices, pacing improves naturally, which is exactly what I want before I touch individual scenes. Next week, I'll be continuing this rewrite series with layer 3 scenes, where I'll break down how I decide what to cut, what to combine, and what needs to hit harder. So, if you want more writing insights, especially if you're writing horror, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube. And if you want weekly craft advice, process breakdowns, and deeper discussions, you can always find me on Substacks. All the links are in my bio. Until next time, keep writing.